I'm Kim Schumacher on a house in Louisa County that suffered massive damage from that earthquake. If you take a look at this fireplace, you can see that it actually separated and pushed out from the wall. We're on Fenwick Street. That's one of the hardest hit areas in Henrico. It is a mess out here. A lot of debris just like this littered all over the street. If you look right here, it's moving at a very fast speed. It's a little bit hard to stand right here because of the force of the water. Let me walk you over here and take a look. You can see this accident just happened. This truck driver apparently lost control in the slush. The interstate has been at least partially reopened. That's why we've been moved to this ramp. And the latest information on this case, state police say the cause was driver fatigue. Police releasing few details, but this scene speaks for itself. Take a look. Animal control officers wearing hazmat suits and using breathing masks to protect themselves inside the home. Authorities remain here at the crash site, securing the scene for NTSB and FAA officials who have launched their investigation into what exactly caused this crash. There are a lot of big hearts out there trying to do whatever they can. Over 940 volunteers showed up at Kings Dominion today ready to search. About 200 of them were return volunteers. They loaded up on 15 buses for deployment, and we caught up with one of those teams. It's 9 a.m. and volunteer Team 6 lines up, ready to start their long day, searching for 9-year-old Robbie Wood.
Right forward!
They're searching a grid south of Verdon Road near Sleepy Hollow Lane.
Y'all don't forget to be looking left and right.
Yesterday, nearly 1,000 people showed up at Kings Dominion to volunteer. Today, numbers were still strong at over 921. Nearly 200 of them were return volunteers. They were given MREs, meals ready to eat, to take with them. It's grueling, tiring work pushing through the dense brush.
If it's like this all day, it's going to be a rough day, but hopefully we have good results.
What are you thinking about while you're walking?
My kids and, and Robbie, it's sad, but all we can do is pray.
In fact, it's so dense, you can't see people just a few feet away, making it easy to lose track of someone.
Brady's over here.
Yeah, working my way back over to the right.
Drop the line!
Sometimes the searchers stop to check out something they see, but then they push on with Robbie on their minds.
This is like 3.5 days. He probably hasn't had a meal. Hopefully, he probably hasn't had anything to drink.
And for Dave Lawrence, it's hitting especially close to home. His son is autistic too.
When we first got diagnosed, this was one of our worst nightmares.
Now, authorities are calling for citizen volunteers again tomorrow.
Get it out my face.
An angry Sheila Houchins lashes out at reporters following her son's sentencing.
Get off of me, okay? I'm gonna knock the hell out one of y'all if y'all don't get the hell out my face.
Today, she gave tearful testimony on her son's behalf, telling the judge Ramon is a people person, funny, friendly, helpful, and sweet, and that the home invasion he was convicted of is not in his nature. In May 2010, Houchins broke into the home of Lois Rawson, his 87-year-old neighbor, and beat her so brutally she was blinded in one eye.
911, where's your emergency?
Yes. Please get the police for me. A man just broke in my home. He's beat me up.
That was part of the 911 call Rawson made minutes after her attack. Now she needs daily care, no longer able to live on her own. Today in court, Houchins made an apology to Mrs. Rawson, though she wasn't there to hear it. But her son Monty was, and he wasn't impressed.
All the pain and suffering that he's inflicted on my mother, he can say what he wants, but an apology is not enough for me. What I was looking for is what I received today. I was looking for justice. I was looking for a jail sentence, and I believe the jail sentence that was imposed was a fair sentence.
In Louisa, Kim Schumacher, 8 News. Yeah, we just got an update from state police. They tell us at this point they're hoping to have this part of the interstate open again by noon. Of course, the accident has had this part of the interstate closed down since about 5 o'clock this morning during this single vehicle accident where a tour bus ran off the right side of the road and overturned, landing on its roof. 57 people were on board. We have 4 confirmed dead and an unknown number of injuries, but they are ranging from life-threatening to minor. Authorities Authorities are still trying to process the scene. They have to document the accident with pics and measurements, and they have to remove the dead. Now, right now, the only people left at the scene are rescuers, the 4 dead, and the bus driver who suffered minor injuries, I'm told. The rest of the injured have been all transported to area hospitals as far north as Mary Washington and as far south as Hopewell. Today, airport officials released security video of that incident, which happened right here at Concourse B, showing college student Aaron Toby as he stripped down at security to reveal his message of protest about TSA pat-downs. The video shows the 21-year-old as he travels through the security line to the screening equipment, where he suddenly strips off his clothes, exposing a message he wrote on his bare chest, saying Amendment 4, the right of the people to be secure against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. The video shows as Toby is detained by airport police and eventually escorted back to their station, where he was photographed, interviewed, and issued a citation for disorderly conduct. According to the official police report, Toby, in full public view, was observed absent of pants and shirt, exposing language regarding the Fourth Amendment.
I want to bring people's awareness to the issue of our civil liberties.
Toby lives in Charlottesville and attends the University of Cincinnati. Today we asked him what he thinks about police reaction to his protest.
I felt it was an overreaction, but I feel that I wasn't doing anything to cause a disturbance beyond removing my clothing, and I think that that was a valid form of my First Amendment right to protest.
In Henrico, Kim Schumacher, 8 News.
Let's go first to Kim. She's live in Henrico. Kim?
We are standing in the hardest hit area of Henrico on Fenwick Street. 63 homes damaged, 3 of them unlivable. If you take a look behind me, you can see the mess here, all of the debris that's on the ground still left to be cleaned up. The National Weather Service was out here today, and they say, no doubt about it, this was a tornado. Chainsaws roar through the neighborhood as the recovery begins. Everywhere you look, downed trees and power lines, damaged roofs, and crushed cars.
Wind and trees just started tumbling down all around us.
National Weather Service meteorologist Bill Samler surveyed the damage. He confirms this was a tornado, a single tornado that tore through Hanover, Henrico, and Richmond in a path over 11 miles long, up to 250 yards wide.
The way the damage is in a very narrow path, that's usually indicative of a tornado. The way some of the trees are damaged, the way the debris is in multiple directions.
And perhaps what's most fortunate, he says the tornado never actually hit the ground. It appears to have bounced along the air at treetop level, which may be why no one was seriously injured. Now, as for the category, the National Weather Service says it's likely that we're looking at an EF1, which is winds up to 90 miles per hour. We'll send it back to you in the studio. Live in Henrico, Kim Schumacher, 8 News. This is the bus stop near Williamsburg Park Apartments, where a skip with pre-K student C.J. Jones is supposed to be let off. But yesterday, when his mother Carla came to meet him here, C.J. wasn't on the bus, and the driver said she hadn't seen him.
She gets on the radio, calls school. Charles Jones is not here. Then I start to panic.
Now, the reason CJ wasn't on the bus was because he was let off at a previous bus stop right here at Three Willows Apartments, about a quarter of a mile away.
I was lost to the park. Then I wouldn't go to my mommy. Then I was crying. Then I wouldn't go home.
He was found in Three Willows in the park crying, wanting his mama. And thank God for a woman whose child got off the bus. She took him to the rental office up there.
Carla says what made matters worse was a conversation with a school official who said CJ got off the bus on his own.
What the director of transportation said to me is that, well, CJ has said that he somehow that he wanted to go to the park. I said, yeah, he wanted to go to Chuck E. Cheese too. You gonna drop him off there? He's 4 years old.
We made a mistake here in terms of how this happened. It wasn't purposeful in any way. The bus driver was dealing with another student who was upset and crying at the time, and this student happened to walk past her.
School spokesperson Michael Dickerson says the bus driver feels terrible about what happened, and though he can't comment on her job status, he says changes will be made.
We're as upset as the parent is, and so that's why we're going to make sure we do our due diligence to look at how this happened to make sure that we can prevent it from happening again.
In Henrico, Kim Schumacher, 8 News.